I say you're a scam artist.
No, you're wrong.
Irish people will lose around 300 million euros every single year as a result of scams. And it's probably a lot more than that, because a scam comes with shame attached, and an awful lot of people are embarrassed to have been conned, so they don't report the crime. And as a result, the amount of money being lost by Irish people to scam artists could be substantially higher. There was figures published by the Bank of Ireland recently which suggested that more than 80% of Irish people will be targeted by a scam over the next month, at least once. And a third of people are being targeted by scams weekly. The scams are getting much more believable, they're becoming much more omnipresent, and they're taking advantage of all of the technologies that we use all of the time to exploit us. So people are very familiar with certain scams. So they know about the eFlow scam. You get a text message saying that you're due to pay your tolls. They know about the An Post or DPD delivery scam. They know about the suspicious activity on your bank account or your credit card account or your credit union account. And a lot of people are aware of this stuff. But the problem is the barriers to entry for the criminals is so low, and the risks of getting caught are so negligible that if they send out 1 million scam messages and a tiny percentage of people fall victim to those scams, they're quids in. And that's the real problem. The grim reality is it's going to get much worse. AI is going to be deployed, and it's going to make the social engineering techniques that the criminals use much more advanced, and it's going to be much harder for us to fight that stuff. So we do need help. The other real problem is that almost all of the responsibility for these scams is placed on the individual, is placed on the victim. So what we have is this bizarre scenario where criminals are operating seemingly with impunity, and the victims are being blamed for being conned out of their own money. To put that into perspective, imagine a scenario where there was violent criminals roaming the streets, and all that was being done by the authorities was for people to be given advice to avoid certain areas and to have their wits about them when they were wandering around. It would not be acceptable. Yet that is what's happening in this world of scamming. The responsibility should also rest with the banks, with the tech companies, with the telecoms operators. And I'm pretty sure that if you were to say to all of the financial institutions, social media companies, tech platforms, and all of the telecoms companies that you're going to have to pay if these scams are successful, well then I'm sure they would do more to bring the scam artists under control, because we do need help. We as consumers, we as citizens, we as people need help from the big companies, the big tech, big finance companies to help us fight this scourge and to help us fight this blight. And a blight is exactly what it is.